Okay, so let us carry on talking about different kinds of consciousness. In the last video's lecture, I spoke about dreams and some of the theories and some of the brain regions involved in dreams and why are dreams so strange, and one theory about what dreams mean. This is the only slide where we talk about hypnosis and meditation. These are also considered states of consciousness. Remember, we define consciousness as our ability to our awareness of the surrounding environments. So dreams are a state of consciousness where we have limited awareness. We also have hypnosis and meditation. Hypnosis is considered a cooperative, alternative state of consciousness where another individual or maybe even a video app or something guides you into this state of relaxation. I have a good friend who is a hypnotist, and often I used to be able to bring her into class, and she moved to Colorado. I can't do that anymore, but she would talk about hypnosis for well-being, and the idea being that that we have the subconscious, right? We have these beliefs that are below our awareness and our conscious mind. These two things want to work together. So what we do, how we act, what we think is trying to reconcile the things that are in our subconscious. And so through the process of hypnosis, through the process of guided relaxation where we quiet our frontal lobe, right, the same part of the brain that's not involved when we're dreaming, we transplant any negative messages that are in our subconscious with positive messages. So we can go through the day all we want and say that we do math, we're good at math, but if our subconscious is telling us that we're not good at math, we won't be good at math because the subconscious always wins. And so what Angela does is she works with people to put those positive messages in the subconscious. And she talks about how those messages have to be positive. There can't be any words like not or no because the subconscious brain drops it out, and all of this sort of stuff. But it's pretty cool. Anyway, so phrases like hypnosis, where the awareness or evidence of the subconscious, where we have I actually don't know what that means. Oh, the divided consciousness. So when we find ourselves saying things like, well, part of me wants to do this and the other part of me, she says that, according to Angela, that this is evidence that we do have these sort of two aspects of our conscious awareness, right? Two aspects of ourself. And we have a deeper self, a deeper consciousness, and we have a more a consciousness that we're more aware of. Things like, and I think I mentioned this in another slide, but or another lecture, but like things like road hypnosis, where you're just driving along and you missed your turnoff. Why? I mean, clearly you were awake, right? I mean, you weren't asleep, but why did you miss it? Because your sense of awareness was focused on something else. And that's an example of states of consciousness, right? That's a state of consciousness. Or spacing out, as many have reported, the language that they use in the introspection. Many students call it spacing out, where it's really not spacing out, but it is a different state of consciousness. So meditation would be kind of like what I've invited you to do with that introspection. And meditation is a self-induced alternate state of consciousness. So in the introspection assignment, I have asked you to turn your thoughts inward, to focus on the internal self. I have some really devout, prayerful friends, and they often talk about the inner life. The inner life, in their way of thinking, is like a spiritual life. Well, spirituality can be grounded in what's going on in the heart and in the soul, and it gets all back to that, dualism sort of stuff. So meditation it's a way of altering one's consciousness, but you do it yourself. And in the introspection assignment, I've asked you to draw attention to any physiological processes. Yoga, Tai Chi are both kinds of not hot yoga, not none of that stuff, but the spiritual practice of yoga where you center yourself and you slow your breathing and you draw your awareness to your muscles or your posture, right? Those could be considered kinds of meditative practices. Prayer is another form of alternative state of consciousness. I participate in a centering prayer where we sit quietly for 20 minutes with our eyes closed and we commune or do our best to hear the voice of the divine and to connect. That's also a form of consciousness. And I'll tell you what the research all tells us is that prayer, meditation, all of those things have physiological benefits, and they slow down the heart rate, they slow down our breathing, right? They quiet the sympathetic nervous system. You remember that one from the last chapter, the fight or flight, and they activate the parasympathetic, the heal, the rest and digest system. So those are alternate states of awareness, alternate states of consciousness. I'm just going to stop that little chapter there. I'm a big proponent of things like yoga and Tai Chi. Like, I don't know if you tried Tai Chi, it's really quite hard, but it's like, it's a moving meditation. And with yoga and Tai Chi, if my awareness is this imaginary ball that I'm trying to, karate, right? I've been watching Cobra Kai on Netflix, but if my awareness is focused on this imaginary ball that I'm moving around, guess what I'm not thinking about? I'm not thinking about my homework. I'm not thinking about my bills. I'm not thinking about my exes. I'm focused on some other level aspect of my awareness and my surroundings. And you can practice that. Okay, I'm going to stop right here. Thank you for listening.